Hi, cool cats. Happy Friday. Welcome back to another First Chapter Friday. Today, we are going to listen to the first chapter of Ban This Book. And this book is by Alan Gratz. When you put a ban on something, it means you can't do it anymore. So, for example, if I banned this book, which means that you cannot check it out at the library, it's a ban. No one can check it out. So imagine if I wouldn't let you check out your favorite library book. I said, there's a ban on that book. That is actually what this story is about. So the little girl in this story, Amy Ann, she goes to the library to check out a book, her favorite book, and she can't. The librarian tells her that it is banned. Okay, so let's find out what happens. All right, first chapter. The Mystery of the Missing Book. It all started the day my favorite library book went missing from the library. I didn't know it was missing. Not yet. In my mind, it was still sitting there all alone on the shelf like a kid in the cafeteria, waiting for her one and only friend to come and find her. Waiting for me to find her. All I wanted to do was run to the library and check out my favorite book before homeroom. But Rebecca, my one and only real life friend, was still talking about trademarking our names. Have you ever thought about registering AmyAnnOllinger.com? No, Rebecca, I haven't thought about registering AmyAnnOllinger.com. I'm only 9 years old. Why in the world would I bother to register a website with my name on it if my parents won't even let me use Facebook? That's what I thought about saying. What I said instead was, no. You should, Rebecca told me. You've got a unique name, but even so, somebody could register it. And then what would you do? RebeccaZimmerman.com is already gone. I am 10 years old and already my future intellectual property is being snapped up. Jay-Z and Beyonce trademarked their babies' names less than a month after she was born. You'd think my parents would have known enough to do the same. Rebecca's parents were both lawyers, and she wanted to be one when she grew up, too. I couldn't imagine a more boring job. Instead, I said, yeah, I was still itching to get to the library and check out my favorite book. I opened my locker to stuff my backpack inside and gave my mailbox a quick look. Nobody knows how it got started, but everybody at Shelbourne Elementary has these cardboard boxes taped to the outside door of their lockers, just below the little vents they put there, in case you get stuffed in your locker by a bully. If you want to leave a note for somebody, you just slip a piece of paper in the slot and it falls right into the little cardboard box. It's such a tradition that Mr. Crutchfield, the custodian, just leaves the boxes in the lockers from year to year. As usual, my mailbox was empty, which I'd expected. My one and only friend doesn't believe in writing notes. Never leave a paper trail, says Rebecca. More advice from her lawyer parents. Did you hear about Morgan Freeman, the actor? Rebecca asked. Somebody who wasn't named Morgan Freeman registered his name at morganfreeman.com and he had to sue them to get it back. Now that's an interesting case. I can't imagine anything less interesting, Rebecca. I don't care anything about trademarks or registering domain names. I have to go and check out my favorite book before somebody else does. That's what I wanted to tell her. Instead, I held up a handful of books like a shield and said, I have to return these books to the library before class, and backed away before she could tell me more about the court case. I'll see you in the homeroom, I called. Normally, I would already have my favorite book checked out and in my backpack, but our librarian, Mrs. Jones, has a rule that you can only renew a book 2 times in a row. Then it has to sit on the shelf for 5 whole school days before you can check it out again. She says it's to make sure other people get a chance to read it, but I think she made up that rule just to make me read other books, which I would have done anyway. I dumped last night's books in the book return and waved good morning to Mrs. Jones on the way to the fiction shelves. Amy Ann, Miss Jones called. Honey, wait. Just let me grab my book, I called back. I turned into the H through N shelves and hurried to where I knew my favorite book would be waiting. Only it wasn't there. I looked again. It still wasn't there. I looked behind the books in case it had gotten pushed back and was hidden behind the other books like they sometimes do. But no, it really wasn't there. But my favorite book was always on the shelf. Could somebody else have checked it out? I was about to go and ask Miss Jones when she turned down the row. Mrs. Jones is a big white lady with short brown hair and rhinestone granny glasses that hang around her neck on a chain when she isn't reading. Today she was wearing a red dress with white polka dots. Polka dots are her thing. "Where's my book?" I asked her. "That's what I was trying to tell you, honey," Miss Jones said. "I knew you'd come in for it first thing." "It's been 5 days," I told her. I marked it down on my calendar. "I get to check it out again after 5 days. You said so. Did somebody else check my book out?" "No, Amy Ann. I had to take it off the shelf." I frowned. Take it off the shelf? What did she mean by take it off the shelf? Why? Mrs. Jones sighed and wrung her hands together. She looked like she was about to tell me my dog had died. "Because some parents got together and said they didn't think it was appropriate for elementary school, and the school board agreed with them." "Wasn't appropriate? What does that mean?" "It means I can't check it out to you, honey, or to anyone else. Not until I talk to the school board and get this nonsense overturned." "It means, Amy Ann, that your favorite book was banned from the school library." What do you think Amy Ann is going to do next? Oof. Remember, I'm not checking out books right now, but if you're interested in being on the Battle of the Books team, you can read more about that this summer if you are interested, or read more about what Amy Ann does. Next year, they'll be available for checkout for everyone. So if you're interested in joining Battle of the Books in 3rd or 4th grade, let me know. And my younger kids, be thinking about joining the Battle of the Books team someday in the future. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you sometime very soon. Bye, cool cats.